This is DJ James with Weazel News. Today we are here with Mr. Matt Smith, well, Trooper Matt Smith, one of the captains of State Police. We are in the new HQ. I know this is a nice little new scenery. So, Mr. Smith, would you like to go ahead and tell us what happened with, like a quick little rundown with Mr. Cuban?
All right, so former Trooper Frank Cuban was arrested yesterday on a list of charges, which we'll get to momentarily. Y'all saw the scene outside of Legion. That was us. Very chaotic scene, a lot of attention. Basically, that was just us going through his vehicles and all that, trying to locate some weapons that he'd basically stolen from the department and was illegally distributing to the civilian population. Well, I say civilian population, like criminal population. So, if you take the investigation as a whole, it actually started a while back. Actually, maybe a week or two after he was first hired, there was an incident where someone reported him, someone of his description, anyways, a trooper selling carbines, and FIB got involved. If y'all remember when they had their mobile command center out at MRPD a couple weeks ago, that was all stuff like that was related to a couple different things, that being one of them. So we've been investigating for a while now. Obviously, now sort of the conclusion. Found concrete evidence of him pulling, I believe, at least 25 government possessions out of the department, basically stealing the department. This includes SMGs, pistols, shotguns, one or two carbines, and a couple department vehicles. He was basically stealing these items and distributing them to the population. He says he just gave them out for free, and according to his bank transactions, that does hold up a little bit. So he was arrested yesterday. Obviously, that was quite a scene. Doesn't happen every day, certainly.
Yeah.
And he was taken to This was a joint work with FIB and State. So basically, after we got all of his possessions searched, we did find some weapons, not all of them. He was then taken to the FIB building for further questioning before being. Obviously, everyone saw he was jailed for 9s, waiting trial. Trial should be soon. That is currently being set up. In interview, I will go ahead and say in interview, he already pled guilty. So we're expecting that to go pretty well. He could be looking at either, I believe, 1,050 months or potentially a life sentence, depending on how the court sees the corruption charge, because corruption does not actually have a set time.
Oh, well, I kind of thought it was kind of odd, that it seemed like he was already pleading guilty, because you remember at Legion Garage, he was kind of resisting about, showing his cards. He was saying, "Why should I?" And then at a couple points, he mentioned that they weren't ever going to find the weapons.
So, basically, he was really resisting, because he told us that he was planning on leaving the department today. So, yes, obviously yesterday, I guess he said he was tired of taking apparently some negative attention from the civilian population, which was his own doing, if y'all remember the comedy club.
Yeah.
That obviously brought him a lot of negative attention, so much so that he actually got a name change. So he basically said he was tired of it, and in interview he interviewed yesterday, he said that he was planning on leaving today. Obviously that didn't happen because he was fired yesterday and arrested. And he said before he left, he just decided he was going to steal a bunch of the department's property, the weapons, the vehicles, and such. He was going to distribute it to the population and then leave.
That was kind of odd, because he was mentioning how he doesn't like the attention, the negativity the civilian population was putting out towards him. So, like, why would you feed something that you don't like? Those weapons.
Well, I honestly don't think he was planning on getting caught. But obviously that didn't work out so well for him. He definitely did get caught quite quickly, even because according to the basically the logs that are kept at the armory over at MRPD in their computer system over there, was fairly recent. He'd pulled them out, very short amount of time between him pulling them out and us arresting him.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've always been a good cop. I know that, State's image might be, a little bit harmed because of, that one officer, well, one trooper's wrongdoing. But I know that I could always trust state police at all times, even that this happened. I know it's going to be hard trying to, I mean, it's going to be stained a little bit on state because of what Cuban did. But I mean, it really seemed like it was just Cuban himself that was causing this to,
Well, yeah, like I said, I mean, he as a state cadet, he attended that comedy event on duty and decided to make a public display. So he hasn't really been great for the department the entire time. But I mean, he did do his job at the end. At least until now, he had been doing his job. So, but I mean, yeah, obviously stuff like this happens. It's gonna hurt PR if that's what you're getting at.
yeah.
And I mean, the only thing I have to say on that is when it happens, yes, but that's why we like to be, or, I'm going to be open about it as much as I can be. I'll hold conferences whenever relevant information that I'm allowed to share is, brought up. I'll keep it available to y'all. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt reputation. It's happened before. Hope I always say hopefully never again, but we're always gonna stay vigilant.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is, at the end of the day, he signed up to protect and serve, and all he all he did in the end was provide tools for the criminals to harm.
Exactly, exactly. Well, I appreciate you again, Mr. Matt Smith. Well, Matt Smith, the captain of State, sir. You've really been, great to Weazel News and myself. You've always provided a positive, showing all this stuff that whenever you get the chance, like you said, to the civilians to let them know that, y'all are, y'all are just doing y'all's job, protecting us.
Yeah, I try to keep a positive relation with the media because, I mean, obviously the civilians, that's where they go to get their news, is Weazel News. So
Yes, sir.
might as well make an appearance on there.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you again, sir. I hope that we could be able to, do a quick little walk around through your headquarters, the new
Yeah,
renovations y'all got.
yeah, I'll arrange a tour for y'all.
Okay, well, I appreciate you, sir. All right. Well, this was DJ James with Matt Smith, one of the two, what is it, two captains of state?
Two captains currently.
One of the two captains of state. And we're out.